Joe Biden reiterated the United States' commitment to the Philippines' security as he welcomed Ferdinand Marcos Junior for White House talks. Beijing's expansion into trade routes and the strategic islands of the South China Sea headlined these talks. Marcos, on the first White House visit by a Philippines leader in 10 years, stressed the importance of the United States as his country's sole treaty ally in the region. Both countries are seeking ways to push back against what they see as China's aggressive actions near Taiwan and in the South China Sea. A joint statement said any attack on the Philippines military, including in the South China Sea, would invoke the United States mutual defense commitments under the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty. Washington sees the Philippines as key to any effort to counter an invasion of Taiwan by China, which claims the island as its own territory. Manila, it recently agreed to allow the United States access to 4 more of its military bases under an enhanced defense cooperation agreement. But the two sides have not said what United States assets will be stationed at these bases. Under Rodrigo Duterte, Marcos's predecessor, U.S. relations soured as he built closer ties with China. Biden has invested in courting Marcos, who still faces a U.S. court judgment connected with $2 billion plundered wealth under his father's rule. Officials said that the new guidelines focused on military coordination across land, sea, air, space and cyberspace. The U.S. administration would transfer 3 C-130 aircraft and look to send additional patrol vessels to the Philippines. Marcos has sought warm relations with both the United States and China, who are vying for influence in the Indo-Pacific. Experts say that the United States considers the Philippines a potential location for rockets, missiles and artillery systems to counter Chinese amphibious assault on Taiwan. However, Marcos told reporters on his plane that China had agreed to discuss fishing rights in the South China Sea. He also added that he would not allow the Philippines to become a staging post for military action.
Well, good afternoon, everyone.
In the face of coercion and gray zone,
Biden would send a presidential trade and investment mission to the Philippines. The two countries would also co-host the 2024 Indo-Pacific Business Forum. It is the marquee U.S. commercial event in the region and would further establish the Philippines as a key hub for regional supply chains. Many Filipinos are frustrated by China's actions in the South China Sea, including the harassment of Philippine ships and fishermen. Popular support has grown in the country for a tougher stance towards Beijing. Biden was the first official to reach out to Marcos after his election. The U.S. president has made strengthening economic and military ties in the Indo-Pacific region a cornerstone of his foreign policy. Now, for more on this, we were earlier joined by Mr. Sarang Shidore from Washington, D.C., Director of Studies and Senior Research Fellow at the Quincy Institute. Let's listen in.
The Philippines, of course, is a major middle power in Southeast Asia, and it has a number of interests. One of them, of course, is economic development. It's not a wealthy country, and it wants to grow richer, it wants to grow more prosperous. So one of the key interests the Philippines has is to continue its stellar growth rate that it has seen in recent years. The other interest, like most nations, is sovereignty and territorial integrity. The Philippines has a very large coastline, and as you have mentioned earlier in your show, there is a dispute with China in terms of the South China Sea islands features, and Chinese activity has been threatening. There's no question that the Chinese 9-dash line is illegal under international law. That's been the ruling of the tribunal in 2016. And Philippines is very concerned that the Chinese not encroach any further. So there you have it. You have two core interests. Now, Taiwan is an interest too, because there are about 150,000 Filipinos who live in Taiwan. So clearly, if there's a crisis in Taiwan, evacuating them will be a major concern. But apart from that, One China is a principle that the Philippines government has held on to for a long time. So has Washington. Both have stated one China policies. And so Taiwan is not in that sense as core an interest for the Philippines, apart from its citizens, as the South China Sea is.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.